MCQ from the same paper. The paper is October November 2022 Edexcel exam series, unit number 1, IAS. So here we go. Let's move towards MCQ number 8. Yes, this is a question which tells you about the springs. Here, when a certain spring is stretched by a tensile force F, elastic energy stored in the spring is E. So basically here you are applying the force F. It is stretched by that force. Let's say x1 is the F1 is the force one, and x1 is the stretched, or you can say the extension in that. The three of the same springs, three of the springs are arranged in parallel and stretched by a tensile force of 2F. Now the force F2 is twice 2F, you can say 2F1, and the springs are three springs. Which of the following expression gives the elastic potential energy stored in that one? So first of all, I will solve this question for you in 3 steps. First step, I will find out the energy E1 for single spring, for one spring, and force F1. So if you apply that force, the elastic potential energy, let me call it E1, that is 1 upon 2 F1 times x1. This is this elastic potential energy when you have single spring and when you have one force on that, F force on that. Now if you have two forces, if you have twice of the force, what will be the extension in that spring, single spring? So here we go, that the change in length of one spring due to 2F. So it's obvious that that force is equals to K times X, or K times delta X. So your delta X in spring 1 due to 2F will be equals to twice of the force divided by K. That shows that this F by K is basically the extension 1, which was F1 divided by K. It was basically F1. So that is why extension in the spring due to twice of the force, that is 2 times of x1, you can say. So right after that I will go to step number 3, and in step number 3 I will figure out that what will be the elastic potential energy stored. So elastic potential energy stored, that is when there are 3 springs, that is 1 upon 2 force when there are 3 springs, and extension when there are 3 springs. So here one more problem, that what will be the total extension when there are 3 springs. So here as you know that the extension in 3 springs will be equals to 1. It will be solved by that formula, and we can solve it, that it will be 1 upon extension in the 3 springs will be equals to 1 upon extension in spring 1 plus 1 upon extension in spring 2 plus 1 upon extension in spring 3. So all these springs have the same extension because they are identical springs. So that is why it would become 3. One more thing which is very important, I will plug in that value, that it will be due to 2F force, the extension will be 2 times x1 plus 1 upon 2 times x1 plus 1 upon 2 times x1. So that is why that extension will be solved in this way. It would become 3 divided by 2 times of extension of spring 1. So here we go, that the extension in 3 springs due to 2F force and combination in 3 in parallel one, that will be equals to 2 by 3 of x1. So here I will plug in all these values here, and I will figure out that energy stored, that is due to 3 springs, it is 1 upon 2, that force is 2F times, this is 2 by 3 times delta x1, or you can say x1 because I have written all the expressions in terms of x1. So it becomes 4 by 3 into 1 upon 2 f times x1, where that is equals to your 4 by 3 and energy E1. Now in the question the energies are given, this energy is E and this is your new energy under the in the presence of 3 springs. So that is why this energy will be equals to 4 by 3 times E. So that is why its option is option C. Now hopefully this question will be clear to you. If there is some doubt, you people can ask me about this question.